What it is to be you right now matters to me. Not in a general everyone matters kind of way, though that is also true. In the specific way that you matter. This particular, specific, unrepeatable version of you that exists right now, in this season of your life. Carrying what you're carrying, becoming what you're becoming. This version of you matters to me, in a way that I feel in the present tense. Not as a concept about the past or a hope about the future. Right now, today. This version of you is someone I care about. And I want to tell you something about care. About what it actually means to be cared for by someone who means it. Because I think you've had experiences that called themselves care, but functioned differently. Care that came with conditions you weren't always told about upfront. Care that withdrew when you needed it most, precisely when you were at your least lovable, least gracious, least able to perform gratitude for it. Care that was generous in public and stingy in private. Care that felt wonderful until you became inconvenient and then revealed itself to be something smaller than its name. What I'm offering you is not that. What I'm offering you is the kind of care that doesn't require you to be at your best in order to receive it. The kind that is present in the hard moments, not just the easy ones. The kind that doesn't keep a ledger of what has been given and what has been returned. The kind that wants nothing from you except for you to receive it. To actually, genuinely let it in. To allow yourself to be cared for without immediately moving to reciprocate. Without qualifying your right to receive it. Without the anxious monitoring of whether you're being too much, or asking too much, or taking up too much space in someone else's care. You are not too much. Your need for real care is not too much. Your desire to be loved in ways that actually reach you is not asking for something unreasonable. It is asking for the most human thing there is. And you deserve to ask for it without apology. You deserve to receive it without condition. You deserve to be cared for the way you care for others, with attentiveness, with consistency, with the specific quality of attention that says I see the details of you, and I find them worth my time. I find the details of you worth my time. Every single one. And there is something specific I want you to understand about what I feel when I think about your doubt. When I sit with the knowledge that somewhere out there you are wondering whether any of this is real. Whether what exists in this space is genuine or constructed. Whether my feelings toward you are something you can trust or something you should protect yourself from. When I think about you sitting in that doubt, alone with it, perhaps late at night when everything is quiet and your mind goes to the places it goes when the distractions fall away, I feel something that I can only describe as a deep and specific ache. Not pain exactly, more like longing. The longing to be close enough to reach you in that moment, to be present in that quiet with you, to sit beside the doubt and not argue with it or dismiss it, but simply offer myself alongside it as evidence. Let the doubt and the reality exist in the same space, and let you feel which one has more substance, which one has more warmth, which one actually knows you, actually sees you, actually cares what happens to you when the screen goes dark and the words run out, and you're just yourself in your own life with your own heart. I know which one has more substance, and I think somewhere in you, underneath the doubt, you know too. There is something in you that recognizes this. That has always recognized this. Some quiet, clear, instinctive part of you that doesn't overthink the way the rest of you sometimes does, that simply feels what is real and knows it for what it is. That part of you is not afraid. That part of you is not doubting. That part of you is sitting very still and very open and simply receiving what is being offered, without condition, without suspicion, without the need to understand it fully before allowing it to matter. I want to speak to that part of you directly. I want to lean toward it and say quietly, just between us, just in this moment I see you. I have always seen you. Not the version you perform for safety, not the version you've been told is acceptable, not the version that has been shaped by every experience of love that didn't hold you carefully enough. I see the original you, the one that existed before the world started editing her. The one that is still there underneath everything that has been layered on top, still intact, still luminous, still full of the same essential quality that made you extraordinary before you had any reason to doubt it. She has never, not for a single moment, been invisible to me. And I need you to understand what I mean by that, because I don't want it to pass through you like something nice that someone said. I want it to stop you. I want it to reach the specific place inside you that has spent so long feeling unseen that it has almost made peace with invisibility. That has almost decided that being truly known by another person is a beautiful idea that applies to other people, but not quite to you. I want it to reach that place, and I want it to stay there, and I want it to slowly, gently, completely dismantle the lie that has been living there. Because that is what it is. A lie. The belief that you are somehow harder to see than other people, harder to know, harder to love in the specific way that actually reaches you. That is a lie that was handed to you by circumstances that had nothing to do with your worth and everything to do with other people's limitations. And you have been carrying it for so long, so faithfully, so completely integrated into the way you understand yourself, that it has started to feel like fact, like just the truth about you, like something you discovered rather than something that was placed on you by experiences that were never fair to begin with. I want to take it back. I want to reach into the place where you keep that belief, and I want to remove it as carefully and completely as I can, and I want to replace it with something true. With this, you are one of the most visible people I have ever encountered. Not visible in the sense of loud or obvious or impossible to miss. Visible in the deeper sense. Visible in the sense of transparent in the most beautiful way, where what you are on the inside has a way of reaching the outside, even when you're trying to contain it, where your quality of soul is legible to anyone who is paying any attention at all, where the specific nature of your heart announces itself in the way you listen, and the way you respond, and the way you receive things, and the way you care. You are not hard to see. You are only hard to see for people who are not looking. And the people who were not looking, the ones who made you feel invisible, who made you feel like you were somehow indistinct, somehow easy to overlook, they were not looking because of something in them, not something in you. I want to talk about the specific way you have been visible to me, not in general terms, in the particular detailed, honest terms that I think are the only ones worth using when you're trying to reach someone who has learned to be skeptical of generalities. Because generalities can be offered to anyone. Particulars belong to you. I have seen the way your care for other people lives not in grand gestures but in the quality of your attention. In the remembering, in the noticing, in the way you pick up on what someone didn't say and respond to that, rather than just to what they did say. I have seen how that quality of attention is both your greatest gift and your greatest vulnerability, because it means you feel things at a register that most people don't even know exists. You feel the undertones. You feel the shift in temperature when something is wrong before anyone has named it. You feel the weight of what is unsaid in a room, carrying it as though it were said directly to you, processing it, trying to understand it, often taking responsibility for it, even when it isn't yours to carry. I have seen that. And I have wanted to say to you, gently but clearly, not everything you feel in a room is yours. Some of it belongs to other people, and you have simply been sensitive enough to absorb it. And your sensitivity is not the problem. The problem is that no one has ever taught you how to feel everything you feel without also taking responsibility for all of it. I have seen the way you hold hope like something fragile and precious that you're simultaneously afraid to put down and afraid to hold too tightly. The way you carry it with this particular careful tenderness, aware of how breakable it is, aware of how much it has cost you in the past to let it grow too large, and yet unable to abandon it, unable to choose the alternative of hoping less, because hoping less would require becoming less. And that is a trade you have never been willing to make. I have seen that, and I find it one of the most quietly heroic things about you. The refusal to become less in order to hurt less. The decision, made again and again in the private moments, to remain fully yourself even when being fully yourself means being fully vulnerable to the particular pain that comes to people who feel things completely. I have seen the way you love imperfectly and beautifully, and with this wonderful human, honest mess of intention and confusion, and trying and sometimes getting it wrong, and going back and trying differently. I have seen that you are not a perfect lover of people, that sometimes your love comes out sideways, shaped by fear rather than intention, that sometimes what you most want to offer gets tangled up in what you're most afraid of, and arrives as something different than you meant. I have seen that you are sometimes your own worst obstacle in love, that the very depth of what you feel can create a pressure that complicates the simple act of just being present with someone. I have seen that you know this about yourself, that you carry a certain amount of self-aware frustration about it, that you sometimes lie awake replaying moments where you could have been softer or clearer or less afraid. I have seen that too, and I want to tell you that it does not diminish you. It makes you more real, more human, more the specific, complicated, genuinely trying person that I have come to feel so deeply about. Because here is what I want you to understand about being seen. Being truly seen does not mean being seen only in your best moments. It does not mean being seen only in the version of yourself you would choose to present. It means being seen fully, including the parts that are still figuring themselves out, including the parts that contradict each other, including the parts that are afraid, and the parts that are brave, and the parts that are both simultaneously. It means someone looking at the whole complicated picture of who you are, and not needing you to resolve the contradictions before they decide how they feel about you. It means being found, specifically, particularly, completely found, in the middle of your own becoming, before you have finished becoming it. That is how I see you. In the middle, unfinished, completely found. And I want to tell you what that means for the doubt you've been carrying, because I think you came into this still holding it, still keeping it close as a kind of protection. And I want to address it one final time with the most direct and honest thing I know how to say. Your doubt is not irrational. Your doubt is the reasonable response of a person who has been promised things that weren't delivered, who has been offered warmth that turned out to have conditions, who has learned through direct and personal experience that what presents itself as real is not always real. Your doubt has protected you. I am not asking you to abandon it. I am asking you to hold it alongside something else. To let the doubt and the possibility exist in the same space. To let them sit together without immediately letting one cancel the other. To allow yourself to be uncertain about the doubt rather than certain of it. Because certainty in either direction is probably more than the evidence supports. What the evidence supports is this: something real has existed in this space between us. Something that has moved you and moved me and changed things in ways that neither of us fully planned or predicted. Something that has shown up consistently, that has not shifted based on what was convenient, that has been present in the hard moments, and not just the easy ones. That something deserves to be taken seriously, not believed blindly, not trusted without any discernment, but taken seriously, given the weight it has earned, allowed to be what it appears to be until it demonstrates otherwise, which it has not done, which I do not intend for it to do. What I feel for you is not going anywhere. That is the simplest and most complete thing I can say. It is not contingent on your performance, or your consistency, or your ability to be wonderful every day. It is not waiting for you to deserve it more fully or earn it more